Welcome to the Momsense Podcast. I'm Kambria.
And I'm Kyleigh.
Today, we're going to talk about a touchy subject. Maybe not touchy. It's just a lot of people are probably going to be like, you've lost your mind. So, last week, Kyleigh texted me. Hold on, I meant to have the text pulled up.
I don't even remember what I texted you.
Kyleigh texts me and says, thoughts. It's first week of October, aka commencement of spooky season, which I know y'all don't celebrate Halloween, and for my household, it's a favorite holiday. Want to discuss this week and how you navigate that as a family? So it's true. We don't celebrate Halloween, but how did you know that?
I actually knew that from Justin.
Yeah?
Yeah, so for my first portion of work, I worked with Justin closely. And I don't remember how we got on the topic of Halloween. Maybe it started to become Halloween season and he had said something along the lines of, oh, we don't do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? You're crazy.
You're like, are you sure?
You're crazy. And he gave me a little tidbit about it. And I just thought a little bit further. I mean, you guys, it's not like they're a weird family or anything. You guys are normal and you live normal lives and your kids are happy and healthy. And it's just very interesting to me how you guys don't celebrate this specific holiday. And so tell me a little bit more about that and how y'all's family, why you don't.
Okay.
And what that looks like for you guys.
Okay. First of all, hold on first. Let's look at Kylie's nails because they are very cute, very Halloween. Mm-hmm. Yes. Super cute.
They got ghosties on them.
Second, we are now in Cam's Corner.
Yes!
In the Thrive Studio. Do y'all love it or what?
It's so cute.
Love it. Okay. So let's dive into this. And I just want to say, first of all, I'm not better than anybody. I don't think I'm better than anybody by any means. So anything that I'm saying is just very direct.
It's just what you guys practice.
Exactly. Second of all, you can be friends and have different views.
We do it every day.
Exactly. And then third, I mean, if you have questions, reach out to us directly. Because, I mean, this is, like I said, it's a touchy subject. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of criticism toward me because...
Well, I should back up. Whenever I said they're not weird, that's probably not the best way I could have put that. But I just mean you guys are a normal family.
Yeah.
In all senses. You don't do anything out of the ordinary or practice different than what I practice.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I'm going to say. I know that people are going to criticize this topic overall in general. And then second of all, I mean, 2 years ago, we had a huge Halloween party at our house.
Okay.
But we've come a long way, so let's dive into it. So, along with us not celebrating Halloween, we also don't do Santa Claus.
Okay, I didn't know that.
We don't do the Tooth Fairy. We don't do the Easter Bunny.
Okay.
And the reason behind all of that is, Justin says, how can I teach my kids about Jesus? And also about Santa. And then one day they're going to find out that's not real. And I'm like, you're right, because, Santa's not real. Easter Bunny's not real. Tooth Fairy's not real.
We need to put a warning, do not watch with children.
Yeah. But Jesus is real. And that can get confusing whenever you're telling your kids, this is real, this is real, this is real. Then they find out it's fake. How do you know? We want you to continue to love and trust God because you don't see God every day,
That's fair.
But with that, one caveat, the other end is with Halloween, witchcraft, demons, evil spirits, that is real. And that's something that, I don't want to mess with. I stay away from. And like I said, 2 years ago, we had a huge Halloween party at our house. The Lord really convicted Justin about it and just about it in general and in our walk with Christ. And, he kind of said, yeah, I don't want to do Halloween with the kids. And I'm like, okay. And I mean, there really wasn't like an argument because he is very much the spiritual leader in our household. And with Kinsey, she just kind of like, okay, whatever, after we talked to her about it.
Yeah.
And the why. So as a young child, I dealt with an evil spirit. And I've seen angels before. So I know and feel, whenever you text me, all of these like thoughts came into my head. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this topic, that topic. Witchcraft, casting spells, and like, all these like things. But the Lord, put this story on my heart. He brought me back to being a young kid and dealing with, an evil spirit and also seeing an angels. So I'm like, God, why are you like telling me this? Because I prayed about it. I'm like, how do I come across this without being, without being too much, but also being able to resonate and help other people kind of understand and know, like, in our walk with Christ, like in my marriage, like we've come, a long way. And each way, each day we're like working on, being better as a family, in our walk with Christ. But, so I pray about it and I'm reading my Bible and I'm in Mark, which is the New Testament. And the Lord just like telling me, he's like, what are you doing? Why are you reading this right now? This isn't what I'm trying to tell you to read. And so Mark is the New Testament. And then he throws me back to the Old Testament. And I'm like, okay, what? And I mean, I know this sounds crazy, but I'm like praying, I'm talking to God. I'm like, give me the direction. So now I am in the Bible and I am at the story of Jacob and Esau. I don't know if you're familiar with that story. If you're not, it's fine because I'm about to give y'all, a quick snippet and then
the cliff notes
and then the why. So I'm reading the Bible and I'm here, Rebecca, which is Jacob and Esau's mom, knows that Isaac is going to give Esau, this major blessing before he passes. And so Rebecca goes and tells Jacob, hey, go dress up, pretend to be Esau so that your dad will bless you. So they trick Isaac so that he can get a treat. And I know it's so weird. Like God just put all this in my brain and then I'm like, whoa, it all makes sense. It'll make sense in a second. So now Jacob has this amazing blessing because of a trick. He's treated. Then he goes off and he is working for a man named Laban and falls in love with his daughter Rachel. He also has another daughter, Leah, though, who is the oldest daughter. He makes a deal with Laban and is like, I want to marry Rachel. What do I have to do? You have to work for me for free for 7 years. So he does that. The time has come and it's time for him and Rachel to get it on. Well, he sends Leah in. So he is then tricking Jacob, having Leah pretend like she's Rachel, which she's not, to get that blessing of being married. The story goes on. Leah ends up having a lot of kids. Rachel went for years trying and she was tricked. She's then, in a sense, it's if you think about it like in, the real world, she's like cursed because, Leah's having a kid. And then this story gets wild. Then she sends her servant to go get pregnant by Jacob too, so then she can take that baby, and then then Leah does the same, and then finally Rachel gets pregnant. All of this to say, Laban, Leah and Rachel's dad, and Rebecca were not protecting their children. Yeah. And so the Lord told me when I'm, going through this, you need to talk about how you're just protecting your kids. And I am. And then he puts back, in my mind, I'm like, wow, yeah, I have to protect my kids. Like, our world is crazy. And with social media, so much more is out there. And, I have to protect my kids. And I know, and like I said, I don't think I'm better than anyone by any means. Justin and I were Mr. and Mrs. Smith one year for Halloween. I mean, I was on the Stairmaster for like every day, I remember one year, so that I would look good in my Wonder Woman costume. So, I mean, this is just like us, growing more into
this is a newer practice for you guys. So
exactly.
y'all are still navigating it yourselves.
Yeah, exactly. And So I'm going through that story, and I'm like, gosh, they didn't protect their kids. Then they trick someone so that they could get a treat. In return, you know, it ends up for the worse for them. And that might not all make sense. For me, it makes sense in my head. But then I'm like looking back at my childhood, and there was a movie that I watched on a VCR with witchcraft in it. And I immediately ejected it, and I threw away everything that had to do with that series. I couldn't handle it. My mom still tells that story to this day. She's like, it's so funny. Like, she could have all this money if she would have kept those and then sold them.
Yeah.
But I wasn't for me. When I was about 4 years old, Jet's 3.5. And this is what really like sent me off. So I'm praying about it, and I'm like, okay, like, I don't want nothing to do with the devil. First of all. Second of all, when I was 4, we lived in a house in Garland. And I would cry at night, and this man would be in my closet. And he would come out, and he horrified me, terrified me. But during the day, he would have tea parties with me. The devil was once an angel. During the day, he would have tea parties with me. At night, he would just scare me. And whenever we moved out of that house, we found out that a man had passed in that room. And I was giving my parents a description, and it was him. And he was tormenting me at night.
That's crazy.
Then during the day, he wanted to be my friend. And so I'm thinking about that. I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, I got to protect my kids. And like I said, I don't think I'm better than anybody, but I know the devil wants my kids because we are strong in our faith and we're praying over our kids every day. I mean, you're more vulnerable. He wants to, you know, transform people. Anyway, when about the same time in my life, and I like remember this vividly, it's probably one of my earliest memories. I got lost at Six Flags. And I don't know where my parents went. And there was a group of us, honestly. And so I get lost, and I'm terrified. Then these group of teenagers in Jinkos, do you remember Jinkos? Mm-hmm. Found me. And they're like helping me. And there's no cell phones. I mean, I wouldn't even, I'm like,
yeah.
These kids in Jinkos help me. And I'm like in the midway area, not midway. It's not the fair.
Okay, that's fair. But you know what? Oh, well.
I'm in the common area at Six Flags. And they helped me find my mom. And my mom's like freaking out. And she's just talking to me. And I'm like, Mom, they helped me. Like, look at them. Tell them thank you. Like, they helped me. And she's like, what are you talking about? There's nobody here. And I turn and I look around, and there's nobody right beside me. But they were all around me. Wow. A group of teenagers in Jinkos. And I know that was angels. Like, and everybody was just like, Kambria, what? And then they're like, oh my gosh, your angels wear Jinkos.
Very fashionable.
But yeah, so for me, that's what the Lord put on my heart to talk about, is protecting my kids. Yeah. And, you know, our world is crazy. Our world is vulnerable. Yes, witchcraft is real. You know, another thing we don't do, Harry Potter. A lot of people do. And that's fine. And I'm not saying you can't, you shouldn't, but that's where I am in my walk with Christ. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to do. And who's to say, you know, a couple years down the road, whenever our kids get older, the Lord doesn't say, hey, you need to go to a Halloween party. You need to dress up, and you need to go save people. You never know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get real confused. I'm like, wait, Jesus, you told me this, and now I'm doing that. I'm going backwards here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think that, I mean, your story, that's amazing. And I love the, like, way you tied it back to, for you, it's protecting your children. You're protecting your children from witchcraft and wizardry and the devil and things that can absolutely be associated with Halloween.
Yeah.
Halloween's very different for me.
You already have those costumes picked out, don't you?
You know I do.
What are y'all going to be? Tell me.
So I have two thoughts here, because depending on what the weather's going to do.
Oh, yeah.
So if it's hot, Xander is going to be an astronaut, and I'll be an alien, and Brady will be a NASA scientist. Brady does not like to dress up. He just is along for the ride. He's like, God, Kyleigh. So I can't tell you how many years he has been like a greaser or a lumberjack, where he can wear jeans and a black t-shirt.
He's
right?
just like, okay,
He's like,
I'm here.
Just here.
Yep.
And I'm workout Barbie or
something cute. Yeah.
Something fun. And yeah, he's just along for the ride. So Brady will be a NASA scientist. If it's cold, because I can bundle Xander up a little bit easier in this costume, I found like a little shark. Almost it's like a onesie, almost like a footy pajama, a shark. And then I'll be a lifeguard because you can get the lifeguard hoodies.
Oh, that's
And Brady
cute.
will be the guy that's been attacked by the shark. So those are my two options. I definitely hope that it's on the warmer side because I would love to do the astronaut alien. So fun, so cute. So for me, Halloween incites just some really, really great memories as a kid.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of the kickoff to the holiday season.
I can see that.
Growing up, my family did holidays big. And when I say holidays, I'm talking Easter, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, St. Patrick's Day, your birthdays, the 4th of July. Like,
everything, yeah.
We just always celebrated all of the holidays. And, I mean, even as far as, like, oh, it's National Pancake Day. My dad's going to make pancakes for dinner. Like, things like that were just milestones for me in life. And so Halloween is it is my favorite holiday. I also love Christmas. Like, I just love the memories that that my mind is filled with for these things. I think about family time and time with people that I love and my friends and the fun and just the excitement. My parents always threw like a block party for Halloween, and my dad decorated the house. So, I mean, mine went all out. I mean, I'm talking dug graves in the front yard, which I'm sure my mom loved.
Gosh.
Like, dug graves in the front yard and put, like, black tarp in them so him and his friends and, like, my uncle and my brothers, they could lay in them and pop out at people. I mean, he would hide in the trash cans and pop out and chase people down the street with a chainsaw, obviously with no blade on it. But that kind of stuff, like, that's the stuff people would talk about it in school about, oh, we're going to go by Kylie's house to go get candy. And they bought the good candy. And we had a big pot of chili and music playing and a bounce house and just all the things, right? And so all of our friends came there. And so it was just so much fun. And you get to dress up and pick out these fun costumes. And just, you do these costumes with all your girlfriends and you do the family costumes.
My mom used to make my costumes.
It's just such a fun season for me. And you've got all the fun movies. So my birthday was on Tuesday.
Yes.
And 28. And my amazing girlfriends planned a surprise party for me last night.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah. And so they ordered dinner in and we watched the new Beetlejuice. Just piled up on the couch, having popcorn and candy, just us girls. Like,
aww.
And I love the original Beetlejuice movie. I was actually Beetlejuice for Halloween one year. And like, that's the stuff that is so fun to me.
Yeah.
And so I totally understand the other side of it. To me, I don't even think about that stuff. I don't think about the, like, darker side of it.
Yeah.
I don't practice witchcraft. Obviously, I believe in the devil. For me, Halloween doesn't make me think of the devil.
Yeah.
And so I want to pass on the amazing memories that I had for my family to my son.
Yeah.
And the just joy that I feel that it brings me.
I got, Halloween memories. So I think I told you this. This is funny. Yeah. Sorry, Mom.
Yeah. You told me about your mom.
One of my memories of Halloween of my parents, and now that I think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is mockery. Like I said, sorry, Mom. Of my mom and dad. Before they got divorced, was on Halloween, they were a naughty nun and a priest. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Hilariously not funny because it's mockery. But I'm like, I too have, great memories. And everyone's convictions in life are different. And that just happened to be one, that is in our family because I'm not perfect. I like to drink wine. I was at a wedding dancing, shaking my booty 2 weekends ago.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But, no, the memories are, something you'll never forget. And like you said, you're going to build that with Xander.
Well, and as we start to talk again about like the holiday season, you know, you mentioned you don't do Santa Claus and you don't do the Easter Bunny, and that stuff that we do.
Yeah.
I start talking about like my dad passed, and so I think it's really easy for me to talk about my dad a lot whenever I think about memories, because my mom is here and she's present.
Yeah.
She's not a memory necessarily.
Well, and especially the holidays, because that's probably a much...
I was just talking with a friend about a call out of like, hey, the holiday seasons are rolling around, and I'm just letting you know that this time of year, sometimes there are days that I struggle.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because as exciting as it is, it's also sad.
You wish that he could be here with you.
And
absolutely.
For him to be here with Xander.
Yeah.
And not to like veer this.
No.
But it's one of those things, you know, my dad made a choice to leave.
Yeah.
And I think that's the hardest part of it all. I know that he was sick, and that's where I have to remind myself all the time whenever I think about the choice that he made. Because I can't imagine as a parent now leaving Xander.
No.
It's very crazy to me, because all I want to do is make those memories.
Yeah.
So my dad, for Christmas, he would take his boots and coat them with flour and like make footprints on the floor. Or he would, we all slept. So me, my two brothers, and my cousin, everybody came to our house. So I had one cousin growing up, my aunt and uncle, and then my grandparents. We all came to our house. And so I had one cousin, and we would all sleep in my parents' bedroom in the floor on a pallet. And so my dad would like stomp on the ceiling in the middle of the night, and we'd all wake up and be like, oh,
it's Santa!
Santa! Right? Or we would have the Santa tracker on. And so it's just those, like, that's the stuff that I think about whenever I think about Halloween, and I think about Easter and Christmas. And I also would say, like, my parents and my grandmother very heavily instilled in us the reason for the season whenever it comes to Christmas, and the reason for the season whenever
we still celebrate Christmas, but I'm like, nah, Santa didn't buy that, we did. Like, you get 3 gifts, one a budget.
My husband is very convicted, so again, for me growing up, we did the big Santa Claus, and he brought the bikes and the this and the that, and it was big stuff with Santa. My husband's very convicted that the big stuff does not come from Santa. The small stuff comes from Santa. We'll see what happens whenever we start. When Xander starts getting a little older, we'll see what happens. Sorry, Brady.
You got to think.
But, like, that's the stuff that just, like...
Yeah, but you got to think, like, to his point, when the big stuff comes from Santa, what about the kids who don't?
Right. So I totally get that. I would argue, again, that's the way I grew up.
Yeah.
And I didn't go to school and blab and say, Santa Claus brought me a... Right? I didn't do that.
Yeah.
And so... I don't know what I'll do. Just truthfully, I don't know what I'll do for Xander in the future. Right now, he doesn't know any different.
Yeah.
So it's all from whoever.
Hold on. Well, I mean, you're not there yet, so you still got time.
Yeah. But I do understand the opposite side of that. Now, what do you do as your kids get older and potentially go to school and say, well, Santa's not real?
We tell them the truth and that they don't tell anyone.
It's fair.
And I mean, as with everything, you know.
You can't control that kind of stuff.
You can't.
And so that's why I feel the same way about, I hope that Xander doesn't go to school and say, well, my mommy and daddy bought me this, but Santa Claus brought me blah, blah, blah. I would hope that he is humble enough to recognize that you don't go and talk about all the things that you have.
Exactly.
That's not what it's about. I hope he goes and talks about, I heard Santa Claus on the roof, and I got to make reindeer food, or I made cookies with my mommy and daddy. Like, those are the things that I hope he goes to school and talks about.
Yeah.
Not the remote control car that he got, or whatever.
I remember one time Kinsey came home, I think it was 2nd grade. She's like, Mom, so-and-so still believes in Santa. When do you think they're going to give it up? I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, you better not say anything, girl.
I'll beat you. No.
Exactly. You don't steal somebody else's joy. Because that's how their parents, chose to raise them. And I mean, when you put it all together and how we all live our lives, and like I mentioned, just different convictions about stuff. At the end of the day, I don't have to answer for, you going and doing Halloween.
Yeah.
I don't have to answer to anyone but for myself. When I'm standing at the feet of Jesus, my sister-in-law sent me something the other day that really made me think about this. When I'm standing at the feet of Jesus, when I ask him, how did I do? Or, what do you think? I want him to say, well done, good and faithful servant. And that's on me. He's reflecting me, not you.
Yeah, 100%.
When you go to heaven, that's
100%.
That's your conversation.
That is what I have said a million times whenever the conversation of, sin or judging leave the judging to Jesus. Like, that is
exactly. Amen.
mantra in my house, because I'm not here to judge what you do.
No.
I'm here to judge what I do. Because at the end of the day, what you do in your household and in your life has nothing to do with mine.
Exactly. And right now,
my only job in life is to love people and treat them with kindness the way that Jesus would want me to.
Exactly.
Right? Or that Jesus would. Not that necessarily that he would want to. That he would. Because that's what matters.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And, the beautiful thing about Jesus is, in the Bible, he's hanging out with sinners. And he's Jesus. And you're just like, man, what a guy.
Well, and that's where I think about things a lot, too, is we sit here and talk about going to church.
Mm-hmm.
And I recognize that church is for anybody and everybody. Let's just be real honest here for a second. A lot of times, the people that do struggle with their faith or struggle with the life that they're living don't go to church because of the people there that are judgy.
That's fair.
Or can be judgmental, or that people feel that they could be. And it's our job as Christians to change that narrative.
Exactly.
And let them recognize that you are safe. We are not judging you. I am hanging out with you, even though you're making bad choices, because I want to show you a different life.
Having conversations like this, like this conversation today. So right now, all over social media, it's evident that there's an election coming up.
Yeah.
And it's tearing some people apart. And the way that people argue about it and fight, like on Facebook, I'm just like, it doesn't matter. We can all be friends. We can all be friends. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They say two things you shouldn't talk about: politics and religion. Here we go. Nailed it.
Yeah, we got both. We did them both. We didn't tell you what we believe in as far as politics, though, so.
Vote for Trump.
But. Unless you can.
Anyway, to wrap up this fun episode, okay, one thing I want to do.
Yeah.
I'll say mine this time. Next time you can come with yours. But so I thought about something, and I just wanted to point out positive things in other people.
Yeah.
And, things that you're aspiring to be like and, want to do, and how you want to help better yourself and change yourself. So there's one person in my life who is such a doll and sweetheart, and she is always so happy for everyone. And I want to be more like that. And it's not that I'm not happy for people, but I mean, Kyleigh is Zane's wife now, but Kyleigh, I mean, you get a new car. She is like, this is the best car in the world. I'm so happy for you. This is so great. You get a t-shirt. That's such a cool shirt. And I'm, exaggerating, but I'm just saying, like, the way that her heart is genuinely, truly happy for others is something that I aspire and want to be more like, because I'm like, man, just that joy is just great. And I want other people to be around me and be like, man, she genuinely is happy for me. Because, I mean, no matter what you're doing in life, it's awesome. It's great. Be happy for people. But anyway, next time you can come with yours and an example of somebody that, give them a shout out. And Hugo Sanchez, shout out to Hugo Sanchez. He helped us with Cam's Corner over here.
Hugo's the best, truly.
He is awesome.
He said he's our number one fan, so there is a competition now to figure out who's the number one fan. Hugo, you're at the top of the list.
Love me some Hugo. Oh yeah, look.
Merch.
Did you notice merch? We got merch. Kyleigh sent me some cute shirt ideas. We made some other cute shirts. One says "No Hood Like Motherhood," right?
No Hood Like Motherhood, and
check on your mom friends. Yeah,
super. You gotta check on your mom friends, man.
For real, man.
Parenting ain't for the weak.
No joke.
I can do my positive. I'm actually going to talk about a group of ladies.
Oh.
Three. Rainey, Lauren, Casey. So these girls are our coworkers, and they are also outside of work. They are friends, and so these women, like we talk about having a tribe, right?
Absolutely.
Literally, these women, on my best days, on my worst days, are there to pick me up, put me over their shoulder, and carry me on. Like
I love that.
I have had kind of a rough week the last week and a half, and these girls have just said, you know what, it's okay, be weak in this season, and we're going to carry you through it. And having people that are in your corner all the time, they also are the people that are like, Kyleigh, get your crap together. Right? On those days that you are maybe not being very nice, or, you know, you are being unkind to yourself, or you're just slipping in life. They're quick to call you out, which I appreciate.
It's important.
You need that. You don't need just cheerleaders. You need people that are going to be real with you as well. And those three girls are a lifeline for me. So
I love that.
Okay.
Mom, win or fail?
I'm going to go with win this week.
Let's hear about it.
We took Xander to the fair.
Was it so fun?
It was so fun. We got up early. We got him packed. Shout out to Brady for packing him while I got ready. It was my birthday, so he put it into high gear on the daddy mode. I love it. We got up early. We went to the fair. We had a great time. It was beautiful outside. There was like no people. Xander got to pet all the animals and eat all the food.
The pictures were so cute. The sunglasses pictures.
Oh my gosh. And he just had the best time. It was that. Brady, originally we did not plan to take him. It was just going to be mommy daddy date day. And Brady, the night before, was like, because Brady was very convicted on not taking Xander to the fair. Because, mind you, last year when we went to the fair, I was pregnant. And we actually walked in the night that the shooting had happened at the fair.
Yeah.
And that was very scary. And so Brady was like, I really don't want to take him. But we talked a little bit more, and he was like, it's your birthday. We're going during the day on a Tuesday. We can do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And I originally said no, like, let's just go. We'll have more fun to be able to just go do whatever we want to do. And I said, you know what? I know in my heart that I will be so sad.
If you didn't.
If we're there.
Oh, and the pictures you got, like, oh.
If we are there and we are eating something, I'm like, oh my God, Xander would love this. Or if we're petting the animals, I'm like, oh my God, Xander would love this. Like, yeah, we just decided to take him. And, man, it was such a parent win.
I love that.
And he was so good. He just chilled in his stroller. He took a nap midway through the day. Like, no fussing, no crying. He was just, thank you, son.
That's awesome. So mine, not sure if it's a win or a fail. Pretty funny. So everyone that knows Jet loves tools.
Yes.
My sweet, wonderful husband buys him real tools now because he knows that the fake tools are fake tools. So he didn't want nothing to do with that. So Justin got him some toys from Home Depot that he keeps in his Home Depot bucket. And he has a tool bag. He has a Vito tool bag.
He's big balling.
Oh, yeah. He's got like an electrical meter, all kinds of stuff, like actual tools. But anyway, so he's got his tool bag, and I'm unloading the dishwasher. Him and Oakley are just playing in his room, and like the monitor's behind me, so I can hear them. They're being so cute and playing pretend. So I thought. So I finish up what I'm doing, and then I go into Jet's room to see them playing, and Jet has completely taken apart a transformer toy. It's probably about as big as this chair.
That's a big toy.
The screws are like this big, like this big,
Lord.
Tiny screws. Taking it apart, and this is not even 10 minutes. And like on the monitor, they're just playing, and he's talking to Oakley, and I'm like, oh, they're just playing. No, he's having a conversation with her, unscrewing all the tiny screws. So I walk in, and I'm like, Jet, what are you doing? And then I turn and I look at Oakley, and she's got screws in her mouth, and I'm like,
oh my.
No, like, son, why? And he says, it's okay, Mommy, Daddy can put it back together.
The faith he has in Justin.
I'm like, no, he cannot. Anyway, it's a win because my 3-year-old can use tools.
Yeah.
You know, how many 3-year-olds use tools, but fail because Justin did not put the toy back together, and Oakley was chewing on screws, but it's fine. She's fine. Yeah.
That's a fun one.
So fun. But
That's a fun one.
Anyway, like we said, check out our merch. We'll come up with some more fun ideas, and if you have any ideas, let us know.
Send them our way.
Thank you for tuning in to the Momsense Podcast. I'm Kambria.
And I'm Kyleigh.